everyone and welcome to today's video. And for today I'm going to take you swimming, where we will not be swimming at all and instead I will be doing my makeup in a swimming pool. So the first thing I'm going to do is I already put sunscreen on all over and I gave it a minute to soak in before getting in the sun because I do not want any funky tan lines. Next I'm going to start going in with my makeup, so I'm going to first apply my primer all over my face. Now I was wondering, if you actually wear makeup out in the sun the whole day, do you get like tan lines from where your makeup is and isn't? Because I know when it's like hot, you can like sweat your makeup off. But you're gonna see now, I'm gonna go in with my concealer, which by the way, splashed everywhere and gave me a fright. But I'm only gonna put concealer on in certain areas. I'm not gonna go in with the full face of foundation. So if I was not wearing sunscreen and I went out in the sun like this, would I have tan lines around where the concealer was or not? I will not be going to try this out, but if this has ever happened to you, if you've ever gotten sunburn while wearing makeup, let me know how that went for you because I am very curious. Anyways, I'm doing my usual concealer thing where I'm mixing a lighter and a darker shade. I'm actually busy running out of this lighter shade, so I will have to make a plan. But I'm just going to put that on in all the usual places and then I'm going to blend it out with my beauty blender that I got to wet in the pool. And I was way too excited to get to do this. I don't know why I thought it would be so much fun, but I was very satisfied with the fact that I could just dunk it in the water next to me and I didn't have to get up, walk to a tap, make it wet somewhere else, and then come back. Anyways, if you're wondering why I'm doing my makeup in the pool today, it is not because I usually wear makeup while swimming. It is rather because I've been doing my makeup in a series of random places. And today, that random place is a swimming pool. I'm actually going for a bunch of different water themed things. I'm going to do it in the pool. I'm going to do it in the bath. I'm not going to do it in the shower because I don't want to waste water, but let's enjoy this while we can. It was actually quite the lovely day to be outside, and I'm very glad I did this because this is the only time I went swimming while we were at this place. Anyways, after having blended out all of the concealer, I'm just going in and spot concealing because I'm not wearing a full face of foundation to cover everything, and this is just going to make everything look a little bit more seamless and perfect and flawless. And as you can see, I'm kind of looking in like a reflective surface off to the side. I did not have a mirror and it was way too bright out for me to actually use my camera as a mirror, so I just kind of tried working off of the glass panels around the pool to kind of see what I was doing. But in a sense, this was just an elaborate version of the no mirror makeup challenge. Also, if you're wondering what I'm snacking on, there were these wonderful corn bites. I don't know what they are, but they were divine and I want them again. Moving on to blush, I don't have a cream blush, so I have been using my lipstick. And because all my makeup was standing in the sun getting warm, it gave off a lot more than I thought it would. So I had to do a lot of blending. I wanted to mix in a coral color as well to make it a brighter tone, but I first had to like wipe that off because I had used it to mix a darker lipstick, so that darker lipstick was on it. So I first just went in and I blended out the darker color everywhere so I looked nice and sun flushed like I was outside the whole day. So went all over my cheeks and even up next to my eyes, on my temples a little bit. But after all of that was blended in with my fingers, I did go in with a coral color that I had now cleaned and just put a little bit in where I usually put my blush and blended it out pretty localized just to get it a little bit brighter in that one spot. Then moving on to eyebrows, I just brushed them out with a spoolie and then went in with pomade and tried my absolute best. I was too far away from anything to see what I was actually doing, but you were also too far away from me to see what I was actually doing. So all is fair in love and war, and we're going to pretend that my eyebrows turned out fantastic. I don't really have this intricate routine when it comes to doing my eyebrows. I typically just use one shade of pomade, I use my eyebrow brush, and I just follow the shape that I already have and just make them a little bit darker to kind of match the oomph of the makeup on the rest of my face. I'm sure someday I'll look back and be like, girl, you really needed to work on your eyebrows. What are you doing? But for now, it's okay. I'm liking them and I'm going to embrace them. Also, if it looks like I'm really annoyed, it's because I'm squinting at the sun. I did try that trick where you close your eyes and you look at the sun so that you're not squinting in the sun, but it didn't work. At least not long enough for a whole video, so I am frowning because of the sun. Also trying really hard to see myself in the reflection. But after filling in my brows, I went in with my fingers and the spoolie to just lighten up the front of my brows and make it look a little bit more natural. And now we're going in with setting powder. I'm doing my usual thing where I'm tapping out some setting powder and I'm going to apply it first underneath my eyes to set the concealer that I have there, and then just everywhere else to make sure I'm not shiny. Because let's be honest, sunscreen makes you shiny no matter what the bottle says. And I did not want to be shimmery in my pictures, or at least not in that way, so setting powder everywhere it is. If you were wondering, I actually didn't have any issues with my makeup because I was wearing sunscreen underneath. Usually I wear a day cream or a moisturizer that has SPF 30 in it. I don't wear a sunscreen on top of that. But if you were wondering if that would mess with your makeup, the answer is no. At this point, I decided to spray some setting spray on my face to set everything, but also to help me cool down a little bit. And because of a well-timed breeze, it all ended up missing my face. So I ended up having to go in a second time to make sure I actually did get setting spray on my face to set everything. Then I went in with this random loose shadow I have that's a shimmer brown shade with my usual bronzing brush, and then I just bronzed all over my face. As you may or may not know, I'm currently pet sitting for someone and I forgot to bring my palettes. I brought the rest of my makeup, but I did not bring my palettes, so we're working with what we got, hence this random bronzer instead of my usual palette today. But just a note about the bronzer, since I'm wearing a swimsuit and you can see my chest and the rest of my skin and all that, I'm also bronzing down my neck and on my chest, just so that my skin tone looks nice and uniform. I'm also using that same color to contour everything, so I went down my nose to contour my nose and of course around my mouth. I didn't want to go in too heavy because it was sparkly, but I still did it, and then I went and blended it all in with my fluffy kabuki brush. I decided to wear these pink sunglasses for fun today. I got them on a party bus back in first year and I was like, you know what? This is the day to use them. I'm using this very old and cracked palette of mine, which has some type of shimmer shade in it, and I'm using that as highlighter. So I'm going to apply that in all the typical places. I'm applying that on my cupid's bow, I'm applying it on my nose, I'm going to apply it on the tip of my nose, underneath my brows, and in my inner corners. I'm also putting it like all around the like top part of my nose so that you catch the highlight from all the sides. I don't know if you know exactly what I'm talking about, but I'll show you in more detail in the makeup tutorial at some point, or rather a normal inside sitting down makeup tutorial, not a standing in a pool makeup tutorial. And then because I want to be shimmery everywhere, I also applied a little bit up on my forehead and on my cheekbones. Feel free to also put some on your chin if you like that, or on your collarbones. Now to make this highlighter look a little bit more natural, I just rubbed over everything to blend it in, and then it's onto eyeshadow. I'm using these new palettes by Passion Pro. It's this brand that recently popped up and I love these two vibrant colored palettes of them. Also, like I said, I didn't have any palettes here and I decided it's less effort to just go buy two new fun palettes than it is to go home and get all of them. But to match the blue of the pool, I decided to go in with this light blue and apply it all over my lids. I didn't want to do anything too complicated. I was kind of in the monochromatic type of mood. I kind of felt like recreating this look in a way that I liked a bit more because it didn't really turn out the way I wanted it to the first time. So I decided to kind of tone it down, make it a little bit more fresh, and try it again today. I'm bouncing between the two palettes because they got blues in both of them and they are incredibly hard to open. I do not understand why, but they are. So I felt very accomplished when I managed to open it myself, but I then went in with a bit of a darker blue and applied that on my lower lash line just so I have a little bit of definition going on around my eyes. And in a bit you're going to see I'm going to pick up that blue and a bit of the darker blue that's also in the palette with a fluffy blending brush and use it to just define my crease a little bit until I was happy with the overall eye look. Now let me just tell you about the irony of the day I filmed this compared to the day you are seeing this. I filmed this on a bright summer day, weather was lovely, temperatures were high, the sun was beating down, it was the perfect day to be out in a pool, we had the aircon on in the house and everything. But the day you are seeing this, it is pouring outside. It has been cloudy the whole week. I have not seen the sun in several days. And while I'm enjoying this rainy weather right now, this video is making me miss the bright and sunny days, but I also know how hot they can get and this summer is gonna be a scorcher. So I'm just gonna cuddle up in bed and appreciate this little hint of winter while we can appreciate warm summer days through a screen. I did pick up a white shimmer shade to put a brighter pop of highlight in my inner corner and also to drag that out onto the lids a little bit. And then I did the usual eyeliner thing where I put a bright color on the lower lash line and a dark color on the upper lash line just to add a little bit more volume to my lashes. Moving on to lashes, I'm going to curl my lashes with my lash curler the way I usually do. Luckily, I do not need a mirror to do this part. And then for the actual mascara, I have two different types. One that's more chunky and one that's more thin. I decided to go with the thinner one so I can have long, thin lashes that don't look too much. Like sometimes I'm in the mood for the clumpy, thick lashes look, but I thought for this something a little bit more sparse but long would be better. That's why I decided on using this mascara. And I was really piling it on because I already decided I'm not going to put on false lashes in the pool. I don't want to get chlorine in them. I am happy with this. So mascara is gonna have to do, so I definitely went ham on the top and the bottom lashes. And then I also didn't want to use liquid eyeliner because I didn't want to have like black dripping in the pool, because yes, I did actually dunk my head underwater with this. I just had to see what would happen. And what did happen, by the way, is everything ran into my eyes and everything burned, so I do not recommend. But yes, I created some smoked out liner with a normal eyeliner pencil, and then I went in and set everything again now that I'm done, and then bounced over everything with my beauty blender again. Before anyone comes to me because I went swimming with makeup, like I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, you can't do that, you're gonna put so much oil in the pool, you're gonna wreck the pool, everything's gonna be horrible. I'm the one cleaning this pool, the pool didn't break, it's fine. But don't go into public pools with makeup, then someone else has to clean it. For the lipstick, I didn't want to do too much. I first went in with a bright coral color and blended that out a little bit, but felt it was a bit too light, so I also went in with a bit of a more nude pink tone, mixed those together, and then topped it all off with a shimmery gloss. And then that is the final result. I think it's cute. I hope you think it's cute. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making this video. And then I definitely look forward to doing my makeup in another random place for you next week. So until then, bye bye.